Okay, Marcus Eccles coming at you with the Blue Wave Report. First, I just want to say that America will never solve its racial problem because of some minor things that could be overcame, but they're not going to be um, overcame because number one, you have to talk about it honestly. There's never been a real honest talk about slavery and its effects, its lasting effects in America. And until we do that, you will never solve the racial tension, the racial undertones, and the racist systems that exist in America today. You have to be willing to have an honest talk about exactly what happened, why it happened, who benefited, because there's still companies, families, and a lot of people who are still benefiting, their generations are benefiting from the systems that slavery built. And those are the powerful people and companies who do not want to have this conversation. And number two, if we know slavery was a crime against humanity. And so when a crime is committed, there has to be reparations, fines. Reparation is just like a fine. People don't want to talk about that because they do not, in their hearts, believe they did anything wrong, or either they make up some other kind of kookamamie reason of why not to pay African Americans reparations. But there's plenty of history that the United States has paid lots of reparations. African Americans, black people are the only ones who have never been paid reparations. And our Holocaust was just as bad and even worse than the Jewish Holocaust. I know people don't like to hear that, but the shit's the fucking truth. Do your history. Okay, next I want to talk about this Trump thing. Yesterday, all the intelligence agencies agreed that about all the threats we have, Russia, stopping our alliances with allies, a lot of things going on. Every single one of them talked about how Donald Trump they didn't name Donald Trump, but they said everything they said is totally opposite from what Donald Trump said. Think about that. Every one of our damn intelligence agencies realize the threat of Russia. They realize the retreat that we're doing in the world. And they realize how we are messing up the world economy. Everyone knows that except for Trump and Trump supporters. Folks, we are in a serious situation where if we don't get our act together, we're looking at never being a world leader again. The world is in chaos. And that chaos was done by Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and his family, and many of the people who just wanted to change, many of them who were totally and really ignorant, like Trump, they're Trump-like. They just want to see a white male expressing their most inner joys and fears and hopes. And they don't give a damn if the country is destroyed. They don't give a damn if Rachel's tensions are stoked. They don't give a damn if the country is sold out to Russia. Just as long as they hate the same people that Trump hate, they will continue their support. Now here in Alabama, we need to get our act together because, like I said before, we can win here in Alabama. And the national party of the Republican Party, they're realizing that in Alabama and other states in the South, we are a threat. We can win down here. And one example is the former Governor Don Sigelman. He won every major office, statewide office in the state of Alabama. It wasn't until he was railroaded. And I say he was railroaded. Go see the documentary, Atticus versus the Architect. It's the story, documentary of the former Alabama Governor Don Sigelman, who won every statewide office in Alabama. He was railroaded, and the Democratic Party in Alabama took their tails and ran. And some of them even, like the party leaders we got now in Alabama, they never said a peep, never said a word, never stood in his defense, never just gave up. When Don Sigelman was attacked, harassed, and set up and railroaded, many of the Democrats in Alabama ran for their lives. Some of them ran to the other party. A lot of them just zipped their lips and never mentioned Don Sigelman's name again like it was a dirty word. But Don Sigelman, former governor of the state of Alabama, he done more to this area in the South that any Democrat has done. Why the Alabama Democratic Party doesn't use him, I do not know. But I do have a good idea. It's because the party leaders in Alabama are cowards. And they're only worried about money. Who's going to pay this fee, that fee, go to an expensive ass banquet to hear some of the same old people talk about the same old bullshit. We don't see millennials getting any type of position within the party. We don't see millennials given leadership roles where they can fine tune their craft. All we see is a bunch of old farts worried about protecting their position and their social status in the community. That's why the Alabama Democratic Party is in the bad shape that it's in. We can win in Alabama, but we're divided down here. We're real divided. And I encourage all the Democrats out there on the East Coast, come and take a look at Alabama. See what's going on. Support us, people who won't change, who want more millennials, who want more minority women into the party. We do not need a party that one or two people has a lock and control on everything that's going on, because once those people, those few people, just like the situation we have now here in Alabama, once their ideas are all dried up and their tactics are useless and they are ineffective, Alabama has a supermajority. There's no way they should have a supermajority in the state capital at Montgomery, Alabama. They have that because our Democratic leaders in the House and the party leaders are not doing their job. They're only concerned about themselves. They have betrayed the next generation. If anybody listening to this in the Democratic Party, if you care about Democrats and you want to build the South, you don't need to give up on the South because they got a lot of fight. What's happening in the South with Democrats is we have leaders who are not up to date. These leaders' times have came and gone, and people got to realize that. Sometimes history passes you by. You have got to move on and let the next generation come forth and take the reins. Now, they're not even using the former governor of Alabama, who has won every statewide office in the state of Alabama, who was railroaded by Karl Rove and the Republicans. It's documented. They're not even using him, and he won every major race in Alabama, and over 118 current and former state attorney generals of both parties, Democrats and Republicans, says he was railroaded. Think about that. Y'all check out the Alabama Democratic Party and all the division going on